You're listening to episode 164, part 1 of the Super League pod. It's the first part of our end of season festival. It's the award shows. Slap yourselves in. Oh, Jesus Christ, you can tell I've been off it for a week, can't you?
Yeah. Do you want to go again?
I'm having a rub
having this in.
Nah, fuck it, it's the SLPies. Do you want me to go again?
It's up to you.
Let's keep it. We're having fun. It's the end of term party day, isn't it, really? Okay, hi everyone, welcome to the Super League pod. It's part 1 that you're listening to at the moment of our 164th episode. It forms part of the whole, which is our end of season special, and the first part of that is the traditional and now 4th annual SLPies Awards, and it wouldn't be an episode of Super League pod were it not for me being joined in the podcast studios by our Wigan fan Mark. How are you, sir?
Hello, Tom.
I give a long rambling intro there, didn't I?
Well, you know, we've
not my finest work.
We're obviously out of routine, out of patter here, but we've got a very detailed rundown for us this week with all the awards, and
we have
sort of planned what we're going to say a little bit so that we kind of keep it in sort of time.
And we depart from the
we've
usual
got like
structure.
an hour long worth of listener contributions when we get to the team by team review section of the part B or part 2, what have you.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, but everyone else has had their award shows, and the season's well and truly over now. But we're in that hinterland between end of the domestic season and the exciting beginning of the World Cup, which is but a few days away. So what better time to whet everyone's rugby league appetites than with our end of season awards?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. How do you want to start by?
Well, last year, what we did was one of us introduced the award, the other went and read it.
Is that how we did it?
That's how we did it. But I think we overlapped a little bit last year. But since I've done most of the talking, why don't you take the lead?
With one of the most prestigious awards that we start off with, which is the SLP Player of the Year.
Just for clarity's sake, these are the awards that people have been voting for on the Google form.
Everyone gets a vote on this. We don't have any sort of sway over these. The first section is the listener awards, like you say, Tom. Sorry. God, we're well out of.
It's fine. This is like England's hit out against the SLP side the other week.
The SLP Player of the Year. Previous winners have been Chris Hill, Adam Cuthbertson, and last year Danny Houghton took the award.
Okay.
So the last season. That was Man of Steel 2, and this season I'm going to run through the people who got votes first. Albert Kelly, Ben Murdoch, Masilla, Danny Craven, Greg Williams, Greg Eden, Julian Busquet, Liam Watts, Matty Bly,
Julian Busquet,
Vincent Dupont, and Zach Hardacre. So obviously we had a few Jason Bayeris.
We could pick out listener votes here.
Getting in some votes there. But in joint third place was Grant Millington, who got my vote, and James Roby. They had 6% of the votes each. In second place, with a strong showing, was Matt Parcell with 21% of the votes, which means, unsurprisingly, I would suggest, with over half of the votes, 54% of the votes cast Luke Gale.
There you go.
Congratulations, Luke Gale.
Yes.
If you needed anything else to boost your confidence ahead of the Australia fixture,
we need to boost his confidence, and for my money, it's a worthy winner as well. Definitely. I think he has been the standout performer. I take your point and why you voted for Grant Millington. I think within that Castleford side, he's been exceptionally important. But the importance that Luke Gale had to that Castleford side could not be more keenly illustrated by his performance throughout the season when they got rid of all before them, and then his absence, inverted commas, in the grand final just shows you how important his leadership on the field was to Castleford throughout the year. And I think he's a worthy winner because vastly on the whole performed superbly.
Very rarely did teams completely contain his game, and that one time that they did, it shows.
Wins you a grand final, doesn't it? So no, that's right. And congratulations to Luke Gale. And 54% of the vote is high.
It is high, yeah.
Okay, so what's the next award then?
Well, it's the Young Player of the Year. Do you want to do this one?
Absolutely. So, Super League Pod Young Player of the Year must have been aged 21 or under on the 9th of February 2017. Previous winners of this award were Darryl Clark in 2014, George Williams won it the following year, and last season Ben Curry was named our Young Player of the Year by Super League Pod listeners. Lots and lots of votes got cast on this one as well. Voting went to Alex Walker, Ash Handley, Ashton Golding, Brad Fash, Jacob Truman of Castleford, Lucas Albert, Morgan Knowles, Oliver Gildart, Regan Grace, and we did get one ineligible vote, which was for Thibaut Margalet. So unfortunately,
he's like 24.
Didn't count. Yeah, he's well out of it.
The most heads gone there. I mean, obviously Alex Walker, Championship player, but Ash Handley. He's got 2 tries in about 9 games. Shocking.
Yes, I think that might have to say. Even the most diehard of Leeds fan could have picked a better player than him. Okay, but we've got 4 placed players in this one. 4th place with 7% of the vote, Danny Richardson of St Helens. 3rd place with 22% went to Liam Marshall from Wigan, and that was split in 2nd place with just 23%, so only 1% more of the vote, Tom Davies, the other Wiganer. But the overall winner with 28% of the vote, Leeds fullback Jack Walker.
Close run thing, but I guess
very close.
A great grand final performance, and being just so young,
well, yeah,
will have helped Jack Walker out in this one.
Do you think the fact that 2 Wigan players placed so highly split the vote somewhat, and that had one or more of them not been involved?
No, because every Wigan fan who voted for Tom Davies, from what I can remember.
Okay,
I voted for Tom Davies. I thought Tom Davies was absolutely incredible.
He was
this year, but Jack Walker certainly, has shown so much, and in a champion side, being a kind of difference maker in a side that lacked a fullback, it felt like at the start of the year.
The thing that impressed me the most about Jack Walker, apart from his overall competency in one so young, was actually his composure and the old head that seems to be on very, very young shoulders. And I think that augurs well for us all.
He believes in himself as well,
absolutely.
Which is good to see, but he's not arrogant with it, I feel. So, credit to Jack. Well done.
Yes, there you go. Okay, best signing, Mark.
Yes, so previous winners of the best signing award. This award's kind of moved around a bit in time, but we kind of like to look at it as like the new player on a team, really. Luke Walsh 2014, Adam Cuthbert's in 2015, then Kirk Gidley won the award last year. We had a few votes thrown around, for one for Braden Williamy, one for Greg Bird, which is kind of, he'd played there before, but Matty Blythe similarly was a returning player. Zach Hardacre got a vote, and Brett Ferris somehow ended up with a vote, even though he played for Leeds last season.
Yes,
as well.
Not the season before.
No, last year was his
first year.
It was his first year at Leeds. But anyway, joint in 4th place was Albert Kelly, who I realised when I saw votes for Albert Kelly that we ridiculously missed him off this shortlist.
Yes,
he probably would have come close if we'd have kept him on the shortlist. Chris Wellham also with 2% of the votes each of those. Joint 2nd place was Jake Connor and Jesse Senni Lafayette with 7% of the votes each. The runaway winner, absolutely runaway winner, so I don't think Albert Kelly would have quite run him close even if he was on the shortlist, was Matty Parcell at the Leeds Rhinos. 76% of the vote went his way, and not just because probably Leeds fans voted more than any other fan base, but because he was so crucial,
absolutely,
so important, such a difference maker. And coming as it was sort of on the eve of the season in a way when they felt like they weren't going to have a star hooker, they got everything they would have wanted out of that position and more.
Oh, definitely so. And he got my vote as well. So I'm pleased to have stuck with the majority and remained firmly in Camp Parcell. Okay, worst signing of the season. Ignominy awaits for someone. Previous winners, inverted commas, of this, and it's a rogues gallery. 2014, Roy Asatazi. Well, remember him. Chrissy Sandow won it in 2015, and Beau Falloon, as if to highlight this year's winner. Beau Falloon, ex-Leeds Rhinos hooker. He was last year's worst signing. So we'll go through some of the people who were given votes. Ian Thornley got a vote. James Hassan got a vote. I think it's a shade harsh. Rangi Chase and Zach Hardacre both got votes as well, which is less harsh, I would say.
I'm not sure which club Hassan was the worst signing for.
Well, there you are, exactly.
Salford or Wakefield. He didn't really contribute much at either.
Yeah, he didn't get really a look in, did he? And Zach and Rangi, you can kind of see why they got votes. In terms of worst signing, perhaps in terms of their personal performance as humans rather than what they contributed on the pitch.
Exactly.
But to the winners, 4th place went to Luke Douglas of St Helens, who got 2% of the vote. Romain Navarrete of the Wigan Warriors got 10% in 3rd place. Glenn Stewart got 12% of the vote and finished 2nd following his signing for Lee. But again, the runaway winner, the snake himself, Kevin Brown. Well, it depends what club you support, I suppose. But Kevin Brown with 71% of the vote.
Huge.
This season's worst signing. Justified, in your opinion?
Well, he had a great game.
He did have a great game.
That meant absolutely fuck all.
Yeah.
And then never really commanded another fixture for the entirety of the season other than a one-off England friendly as well. So again, game that didn't necessarily mean tons and tons. So it's not surprising for me at all, to be honest. Just look at the run now. That's 3 out of 4 years that he's gone to a Warrington signing.
There you go. But I think that highlights, particularly this year, that there was a weight of expectation at Warrington, and it was one that we certainly picked up on as well.
Yeah.
In terms of the recruitment, the recruitment that they'd done led us to believe that they'd got rid of some disruptive influences in Chrissy Sandow and things like that, and that they would kick on, and the experience that Kevin Brown had into a better side would lead them to be a successful team this season, but it didn't transpire that way, and he probably is the key focal point for that because of the conversations that he was having in the media about I've come here to win trophies and this, that and the other. So it has highlighted in people's minds, I would guess.
It's been, and I think it didn't help him getting named in the England squad, kind of surprisingly, I think, from a lot of people's viewpoint, because of his performances. Kind of maybe made people, maybe highlighted him to people, I'm not sure.
There you go. Okay, so on to most underrated player. This is a popular award.
Well, this is one of the awards that sort of spreads the furthest out in terms of the range of opinion. I mean, what is underrated for a first off? So we've got absolutely tons of people getting votes, and then the winner was a fairly small proportion. So in 2014, it was won by Oliver Holmes. Then it was eternal underrated, overrated. You know, if you've got votes in both categories, you are this man. You are Carl Ablett.
Yeah.
And Rhys Hanbury was a much deserved winner of it last year.
Yes.
Some of the people who got votes were Adam Cuthbertson, Adam Milner, who I actually tried to put a case forward for him being on the overrated scorecard, but more of that later on. Carl Ablett, Danny Craven, Danny Maguire, David Fafita, Fuad Yaha, Jake Webster, Jamie Shaw, Jimmy Kinehorse, Liam Finn, Liam Watts, Mason Caton Brown, Matty Ashurst, Matty Blythe. These are the Matty Blythe / Danny Craven awards, aren't they? Mike McMeekan, Mitch Garbett, Paul McShane, Sam, but the person didn't put a surname. I'm going to assume it's Sam Tompkins.
It would seem like that.
It wasn't a Wigan man, I wasn't sure who
There's no Sams, is there?
No, but anyway, Tom Lynham, Tommy Makinson and Vincent Dupont all got votes, but the main vote getters were our shortlisted people. In fourth place on that was Tinarau Arona, Bright Eyes himself 10%, Ryan Hinchcliffe third place 11%, in second place Chris Wellen with 17% of the votes, so good performance there. But the winner was the man that I went for as well, and the one that I pushed most for being on this shortlist really was Matt Cook with 30% of the vote. Well done to Matt Cook.
Yeah, and when you consider how many people actually got votes, that's commanding 30% of that vote is a strong performance. I think that shows that the majority of us agree about his importance to the Castleford side.
I think that's just it. He's kind of like a glue kind of player who just sort of comes in and does a job, so no one's singing about him when everyone else around him's offloading and running freely, but actually he had some really big inputs in games this season. He scored a few tries, not a ton of tries, but tries that I remember kind of thinking, that's quite imposing, that what he's just done there. One of them came against Wigan, so that's why I remember it particularly. But yeah, well done to Matt Cook.
Congratulations.
On the flip side, Tom, you've got the overrated side of the Carl Ablett path.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this is usually everyone's opportunity to bag on the guys that have come in on big money or have kind of spoken out in the media and then not quite delivered. Previous winners of this include Ryan Chase in 2014. It was shared in 2015 between Carl Ablett, Matty Smith, Kevin Locke and Chris Sandow. So, you know, there you go. And last year was a bit of a lazy selection, I felt. Sam Tompkins was most overrated last year. People got votes for this aplenty. A lot of names that you'll see as familiar when fans of other clubs get in touch about players. Danny Maguire was voted for overrated. David Fafita got a vote. Greg Eden.
Who do you think voted for Greg Eden?
Oh, I don't know. I couldn't say now. Go on. It's got to be big man.
Joshua's granddad.
Oh, was it Joshua's granddad? Oh, I was going to go with. Tim G. Tim G. Why did Tim's name escape me then? Yeah, I was going to go with Tim G. Mahe Fanua got a vote. Regan Grace got a vote. Sam Tompkins, Sean O'Loughlin, and Steve Michaels all got votes for most overrated player. But In fourth place, Greg Bird with 10% of the votes. Third place, Tommy Luluai for his performances this season, inverted commas, for Wigan. John Wilkin got 23% of the vote to finish as our second most overrated player. But the winner, and again perhaps unsurprisingly, with 30